Evernote Certified Expert Stacey Harmon, and welcome to episode 4 of Evernote in the Wild Provence edition. In this series, I'm showing you how I use Evernote to support me in my upcoming trip to Provence, France. And today I want to talk to you about the mobility benefit that I have with Evernote and how it enables me to access what I need from wherever I am. To set the stage for what I want to discuss today, I want to reiterate that this trip came around really quickly, and I found out about it 3 weeks before we depart. And since I hadn't planned on taking a vacation in 3 weeks, there's a lot to do. I have a boatload of things to do, particularly on the business side, before we head off. Now, it's a planned itinerary. It's a toured trip. So there's not a lot that I can do to control the itinerary, but typically I'd be very excited about researching and finding out where I'm going, where we're staying, what's it look like, what are we going to eat, what are we going to do, all those fun details that go into a trip. I haven't had time for any of that. So I haven't even looked at my strategy to cope with actually getting myself onto the trip and enjoying it is to table all of that. Now, just because I tabled all of that doesn't mean that I haven't been practicing a key habit, which is centralizing that information in Evernote. So a couple of things have happened that set me up to have access to it while I was having lunch with my boyfriend yesterday, and we had the opportunity to discuss the trip. So because I and he have the habit of centralizing and then moving the data into that shared notebook that I have set up, we were able to forward emails in from the tour operator that have details such as our itinerary, confirmation that they're going to pick us up from the train station based on the tickets that we booked. So a lot of emails getting forwarded in. We also were able to kind of blend that with web clips about restaurants that we may want to attend or we want to go try to get a reservation at during our night in Paris the day before we join the tour group or on the back end before we head back to the States. So we've got web clipped items. We have email items. We've got typed notes around lists, and I've got that project management note. Just because I haven't looked at all the details in it, it's still sitting there organized for me with different note titles and note links and groupings like I've shown you in the previous videos. So the information is all sitting there and allowing us to collectively collaborate. And again, my habit of centralizing and then naming has really set me up to have it very organized so that when I go to lunch with Ray yesterday and we have some time to start getting excited about the trip, and I say, hey, you know what? I haven't even looked at the itinerary. I was able to just pull out my phone and access it in Evernote. Now, yes, contrast this to what other people may do, which is have left it or in their email and they would have had to do a search in email to find it. The first thing is that they had to think about where is that data located. For me, I know immediately that data is centralized and accessible in Evernote in our project folder because I've got all the materials, regardless of the location that they came from, centralized in that one notebook. And I was able to take through a tap, by the click of the link with my finger on my phone directly to the PDF that had the full itinerary, and we started looking around, and then we were able to move the project along by when we saw what cities we were going to, we kind of logged in our project management note cities to research, or maybe spend some time looking into as time permits before we go. So I was able to do different types of project management all in the same notebook because all the information's been collected in the notebook, and all of that was accessible from my mobile phone. Evernote's device agnostic. If you have a major operating system on your phone or your computer, you have access to your data. It doesn't matter if I switch from Android to iOS, I'm still going to have access to my account, assuming I'm logged into my own account. And so that's one of the big value propositions that I've really benefited from using Evernote over the years and combining it with this habit of centralization and organization. And I can't tell you how many times this has helped me over the years when I'm out and about. And I have these unexpected pockets of time to work on a project. Having it centralized and accessible in Evernote has been a godsend. I am able to know where my data is and have quick access to it. It's not fragmented amongst different drives that I may or may not have access to. I'm also in the habit of digitizing all of my paper. I'll cover that in a little bit more detail as we kind of go along. This particular workflow, mostly it's already digital, but when you have receipts, which will come up, and other things that I want to document that are physical in their paper format, I'm going to add it right to the notebook as well if it's related to the trip. And you'll see how that builds a really rich history of the trip as well as helps position me to access what I need should it come up while I'm away from the physical source of that information. It could be on a train, it could be at lunch with my boyfriend, it could be, if it's outside this project, at the car wash while I'm waiting for 15 minutes and want to make progress on either the Provence trip or another project that I also track in Evernote. So get in the habit of centralizing into project notebooks. You're going to benefit from the ability and access that you have no matter what device you're on. So give that a try, and I'll be back soon with more tips about how I'm using Evernote to support my trip to France. In the meantime, please subscribe to the Harmon Enterprises YouTube channel in order to be automatically notified of my next episode. I will see you then.